St. Lucians told to hang tough, the financial crunch is far from over. 325 people have been guaranteed employment again under NICE. And the Japanese are moving in on St. Lucian beaches, cleaning them up. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. Kenny Anthony, has warned that the worst of the financial crunch is not over on the home front. Hello everyone, welcome to the CTV News on Calabash TV. I am Lisa Joseph. Despite St. Lucia's good credit standing, government is finding it increasingly difficult to borrow because lending agencies are wary of the happenings in the region. The words of Dr. Anthony as he addressed a town hall meeting in the constituency of Babonneau on the weekend. According to the Prime Minister, the affairs in neighboring islands impact gravely on St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean. Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony told the Babonneau residents that St. Lucia is not immune from troubling economic times being experienced in sister islands. In Antigua and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for example, the ECCB has had to intervene to stave off serious ripple effects. With no clear projection as to when the economic climate will improve, Dr. Anthony has called on St. Lucians to bunker down.
Because of all of these problems in the other islands, banks and other institutions who used to lend money are now afraid of lending money. And what is saving us right now is our reputation, because the banks believe they can trust St. Lucia, trust the government of St. Lucia. But because of what is happening in the other islands, you cannot raise the kind of money you used to raise in the past.
The U.S. economy, on which St. Lucia is largely dependent, is beginning to rebound, however not as strongly as anticipated. To help the situation at home, government has introduced a number of measures, the construction stimulus package being one of them. But it is a program that did not gain much traction on the ground initially. Now, however, interest is peaking with persons seeing benefits.
When we first introduced the stimulus package, a lot of people didn't believe in it. The usual thing, this, that, until they got accustomed and realized that it was in fact working and it is in place. And yes, some banks took a long time to give the loans. And you know, a bank give a loan, you have to go through the thing with lawyers, and it takes time. The Bank of St. Lucia alone has given out close to 100 loans under the stimulus package.
First Caribbean International Bank is to extend its package as well. Despite the public awakening to the stimulus package, Prime Minister Anthony says government may not be able to give it a new lease when the program expires. At this point, it is a question of gains versus losses. Government is foregoing $45 million in revenue to keep the program going. Dr. Anthony says the administration would have to weigh that against the jobs created and the other spin-off effects. Joseph Simon of Agon Mondidor has been formally arrested and charged for causing the death of Edward Thomas on Tuesday, 16 July, about 2:25 a.m. Thomas, a security guard who was attacked whilst on duty at the Boca Secondary School, succumbed to his injuries while he was in the intensive care unit at Victoria Hospital. The incident occurred Wednesday, 3rd July, when officers received information of a burglary at the school. A post-mortem examination was conducted on the body on Friday, 19 July. The results indicated that he died as a result of brain damage secondary to blunt force trauma to the right temporal area. Despite this initial arrest, investigations are continuing into the matter. At least 3 individuals are suspected to have been involved in the crime. Meantime, the senseless killing of the security guard at the Boca Secondary School has raised the question of whether trained guards ought to be posted at schools. Education Minister Dr. Robert Lewis, speaking at a town hall meeting in Babonneau Saturday, said the issue is a complex one because if government were to engage the services of trained individuals, it would come at a cost.
The people who are already serving as security in schools, are they able to continue serving in that capacity because what people are really asking for is for people to have arms as security officers. That means now you need new set of training for these personnel. Now think about it, if you have 102 schools, each of these schools probably have about 3 security guards, watchmen. You're talking already about close to 306 people who are not necessarily persons you may be able to get to do that sort of training if you're going to give them guns and so on, because that's what they're really asking about. And therefore, you're going to put close to 400 St. Lucians if you just take the decision in a very erratic manner. You're going to put about 400 people on the breadline. That's what you're going to be doing, because what you're saying, what people are asking already is, are you going to put in persons who can handle firearms in the schools? And the majority, a lot of the persons who are in the schools at the moment, they are not trained in that regard.
Dr. Lewis, however, maintained that government is exploring all options to make schools safer. A meeting between the managing director of Windward and Leeward Brewery, Craig Graves, and the President General of the National Workers Union, Taryn Maynard, has signaled an end to the industrial impasse between the parties. The NW made it abundantly clear that it was not challenging the company's decision, but rather the manner in which the company's decision was being executed. The parties agreed to a resumption of normal operations, and that the 2 employees would now receive an enhanced compensation package to be agreed upon by the parties. The parties will also meet on Thursday, 25th July, to initiate dialogue on other outstanding cost-cutting proposals. The NW held a general meeting for all employees, during which the workers accepted the conclusion of the talks. And the NW and the management of the St. Lucia Marine Terminals Limited signed another industrial agreement. Clerical, engineering, and technical workers employed with the company's port operations in Vieux will benefit from the provisions of the new industrial contract. The St. Lucia Terminals and the NW have been engaged for several months in a reclassification exercise that established suitable wage scales and job slotting. The company and the union agreed that the reclassification, of which length of service, experience, qualification, and existing salaries were the major factors, resulted in the parties reaching a compromise on an 8% general wage increase. That increase will be distributed as 2%, 3%, and 3% over a 3-year period. A back pay will also be paid. An upward revision of 10 areas that impact on conditions of employment was realized. A general meeting is being planned for the workers at which more information relating to the new collective labor contract will be explained. You're watching the CTV News. Stay with us when we come back, celebrating 25 years of unbroken representation. An airline from one of the busiest airports within the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area has now added St. Lucia to its extensive range of destinations. United Airlines from the Newark Liberty International Airport touched St. Lucian soil for the first time, thanks to the hard work of the St. Lucia Tourist Board in its quest to attract vital airlift to the country. A small ceremony involving all key stakeholders was held at the VIP lounge of the Heronor International Airport to celebrate the inaugural flight. The arrival of United Airlines and the highly anticipated impact of its services on the hotel and tourism sector in St. Lucia were enough to create quite a stir at the Heronor International Airport. The new airline was received with a special water salute by the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, and its passengers welcomed by the sweet Caribbean sound of steel pan music. The Minister for Tourism, Lorne Theophilus, was also on board the inaugural flight and describes it as an answer to one of the crying needs of hoteliers in St. Lucia.
I am elated that at this time we can be part of this ceremony, which indeed shows the commitment of the government of St. Lucia towards answering the needs of our hoteliers in St. Lucia. One of those being the fact that we need to drive airlift to the destination. And this effort between ourselves and United Airlines is in fact a realization of months of work which has gone into making this dream a reality.
United Airlines is considered to be the leading carrier in the New York market, offering connecting flights from numerous destinations to the most efficient airport in the New York area, Newark Liberty International. And thanks to the joint efforts between the St. Lucia Tourist Board and United Airlines, St. Lucia is now one of those destinations scheduled to receive the flight once a week. As to whether that would change soon, the director of United Airlines says that as long as there is an increase in the demand of flights, the airline will provide more service.
Our flight, in which we have just arrived, will provide convenient connections to 22 key cities in the U.S., including Chicago, a coal city, good for tourism, Boston, another coal city, great for tourism, Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. We also connect to various Canadian destinations, which is also great because we should be able to bring all that traffic through Newark.
Various stakeholders of the hotel and tourism sector expressed their support for the initiative, including the newly re-elected president of the SLHTA, Caroline Trudbeskoy. The final endorsement of the new partnership came from the Deputy Prime Minister.
The country of St. Lucia depends on tourism. Tourism is the second largest employer and the largest earner of foreign exchange. So industry is extremely important to us. The government of St. Lucia believes that by having affordable airlift and the work of the St. Lucia Tourist Board, we can attract more visitors into St. Lucia.
The St. Lucia Tourist Board is very optimistic about the arrival of United Airlines to St. Lucia and expects to see an increase in the number of flights as time goes by. The Home Health Program, supervised by the National Initiative to Create Employment, NICE, has been given the green light for continuance. The program provides care to the elderly in their living space. Monday, NICE held a revision of the program and evaluated the performance of the workers. While weaknesses were detected, NICE coordinator Perry Thomas says the workers remain enthusiastic and are elated that home health will go on.
Coming out of that evaluation exercise, the majority, 99% of the individuals have been renewed, the contracts have been renewed, thanks to the Minister of Finance who have made the resources available for that purpose. And we are renewing those contracts with the joy of knowing that they are going back in the community to give vital service, because we do know we have quite a lot of elderly in the community that require that kind of a service. And so we are moving forward in this year, and when I say new year, meaning this cycle, knowing that they will be doing what is required of them.
For the workers, the program represents not just an employment opportunity, but an avenue to meaningfully engage those who contributed to nation building.
This program has been a great, what I would say, a great reward to me, because I have been out of a job for 9 years, and I have a health problem which I have I had failure already, and I had a heart attack already, and I had a stroke already. And since I got this job, my health has been better, and where I can send my kids to school better now. So I'm thanking the entire group who has choose to bring up that nice program, and I say thank you to all of them.
In more news regarding NICE, over 360 persons employed in various public sector organizations under the project are currently benefiting from productivity enhancement training, which is expected to end by July 30. Productivity enhancement training, commonly referred to as PET, will seek to provide participants with guidance and counsel in areas that include self-esteem, anger and conflict management, development of interpersonal skills, money management, the dynamics of communication and work ethic. Beneficiaries of the training exercise would include persons assigned to institutions such as the St. Jude's and Victoria Hospitals, Comfort Bay and the Wellness Center, as well as the constituency councils, home health supervisors, principals, assistants, and plain field maintenance supervisors will also benefit from these workshops that are being facilitated by the National Skills Development Center, the NSDC. Since its launch in June 2012, NICE has employed close to 3,000 individuals in both the public and private sectors. The major objective of the project is to generate sustainable employment opportunities for all.
Yes, I love the job. That's a good thing the government do, because they have a lot of elderly. They have families, but the families not taking care of them. Because I had one of my clients that passed away last month, and I used to take my own thing taking care of him. So that's a good thing the government do. I love my job, regardless what people say about it. I love my job, and I'm feeling proud, and I'm wearing my uniform.
You're watching the CTV News. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for staying with us. A fun activity to clean up the environment, which began with 3 Japanese volunteers, has expanded into a major cleanup campaign. On Saturday, between the hours of 8 to 9 a.m., over 30 individuals from various groups converged at the Tapia Beach for the first major 1-hour cleanup activity under the theme Make a Change. The cleanup was organized by the volunteers of the Japanese International Cooperation Agency with the assistance of the JICA alumni in St. Lucia.
Today we had to collaborate with the Japanese volunteers in an effort to clean up the environment with a theme, Make a Change. And this campaign, it doesn't stop here. There are plans to take it to various other communities along the beach. And we, the JICA Alumni Association, we are actually made up of persons who have been to Japan and participated in training in a number of areas. And we are actually thankful for the people of Japan, the volunteers, the government of Japan for their assistance. And we look forward to the continued cooperation and collaboration.
And the JICA volunteer Momo Kanada is an environmental educator who spearheaded the activity. She says that the aim is not just to remove garbage from the environment, but to help change the mindset of those involved in indiscriminate garbage disposal.
We came to Tapion Beach for barbecue, and we were just walking around. We found a lot of garbages on the beach, and well, we said, yeah, let's do cleanup right here sometime. And then that's when we started thinking, we want to do something to clean up, but just simply keep doing cleanup and stuff wouldn't really solve the problem. It's how we change people's mind and together become conscious about stop littering in the first place, and instead we want to spontaneously start cleaning up.
So for the cleanups scheduled for the 3rd Saturday of every month in a different location, volunteers from the Taiwanese Technical Mission and members of the general public also participated in last Saturday's exercise.
My name is Clegasto, and I just participated in the cleanup of Tapia Beach, and I would like to encourage people to keep dispose of the garbage properly.
Today's activity was very important because we as young people must keep the beaches clean for other generations.
They're not from St. Lucia, and to get them from another country to come to our country and take the initiative to do something that's beneficial from the Prime Minister down to the average person on the street, and affects, it really affects us. They could come here, do what they're doing, and go back to Japan and nothing of them. So I think we local people in the country should follow example and try to get involved, and like the t-shirt says, make a change.
The St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority and the National Conservation Authority are providing assistance through the provision of garbage bags, gloves, and with the disposal of for the trash as well. And this program note, just before we leave you, for the Untold Stories documentary series, we'll have a repeat for you because you've asked for it, the Burial Process Part 2. And of course, you can expect nothing but a riveting program when you tune in for that. That is the Untold Stories, the documentary series. And so what is on right after the CTV News is the Burial Process Part 2. That's where we come to the end of the CTV News. We want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm Melissa Joseph, as always, saying goodbye until we meet